What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be talking about eFootball 2026. We've got news, we've got rumours, we've got lots of leaks, we've got lots of stuff to discuss, but mostly this all comes from this official statement on the official Konami website where they talk about this October date. Is this going to be the definitive date or release for eFootball 2026? I don't think so. This is just an update scheduled for October 2025, and it seems to be mostly graphical, and it seems to be mostly setting the table for future updates down the line. Now, this date of 25th of October, we'll get into that towards the end of the video, so make sure you're staying till the end. But this is the only thing that they really mention here, lads. There's no mention of eFootball 26 or anything. The only thing mentioned here is the device is compatible. At the moment, you can play with iOS 13, but you will need an iOS 15 upgraded device if you're playing it continuously after October. You remember September 30th as well, when eFootball 22 launched from PES 21 to eFootball 2022. That was the tentative date that they set. However, if you go back through the actual release date of the updates that we've got, we still don't have v4.4, v4.5, v4.6, and that's going to transition us in. Now, if we go back to the last major update of v3.0, right? They brought in a lot of new mechanics, single boosters. You also had defense, shooting, passing, a lot of differences being added with the animations. That doubled down on v4.0, as you see here, with double boosters, booster crafting, and there was a lot of stuff going on with v4.0 that they changed to the gameplay, right? They started to automate a lot of stuff. The passing, they also, brought in the new finesse dribbling, but they automated the physical contact that you see here as well, which a lot of people didn't like. Overall, they gave you a little bit more freedom, right? They gave you the removal of the contracts and the free player reset. You could train your players as often as you wanted. But they did kind of switch back a little bit of the automated passing, the defending. Everything became a little bit more assisted. Now, I don't really, listen, the cards and all that, right? That's not going anywhere, man. They're making so much money and they're growing every month, They're not going to stop the Showtime cards. They're not going to stop. And they've also tweaked, and they've also kind of teased and flirted with doing 250 boxes, which I'd heard that were coming. I'd heard GOAT cards were coming. They're also bringing out continuously new legends. Gattuso, Vieri, all of those big boys are going to continue to come out. But I do feel, right, that the gameplay is paramount to the success of the future of eFootball, right? And that's why I think that the next major update, whether it is v4.4, which I don't think it will be, we'll get into that in a second, the next major one is going to be this, which is going to be signaled by Fernando Torres' end, right? Last year, when we had a player like this in it, we have Drogba and Torres both ending. Drogba from the free penalty shootout and Torres from the pack for 500. This date, July 31st, I think is the most important date. This also will be, I think, another important date here where they talk about a major update here. And that's going to bring in celebrations, new graphics, new tweaks. That's already in the game where they've talked about that. And it's probably linked to the 17th to the 4th because they talk about it here in the Match Pass and the eFootball League. You can see the date that Match Pass and eFootball League is ending, which is the 17th of April. Now, looking at this calendar here, right, this is pretty... I think this is a kind of a rough guide, right, of where I think the game is going to go, right? April 17th, we get the big update or the major update. How big it'll be or how major, what do they mean by major? It mightn't be that big, right? We also get on top of that then as well, another update here where they're talking about it, maybe v4.5, and that will be like a content, kind of setting the table for the next major update of 4.6, which will usher in, the transition from eFootball 25 to eFootball 26, right? So April 17th, 6 weeks later, then we're going to get on the May the 29th, or roughly around that, we'll get 4.5. Then we're up to v4.6 on July 31st. That will bring in, all new cards. Torres will be gone, Drogba will be gone. There'll be another 3 match passes nearly finished by then. And that's going to launch us in then to eFootball 2026 5.0. That's what I think it will be, personally. And honestly, I do think that September launch is going to be what they have. They've tried and tested. Maybe they'll try to get the game out early doors and launch the game before EAFC, launch the game before UFL do a major update for next season, right? Because this season is largely kind of done and dusted now. But let me know what you guys think, right? eFootball 2026, what do you actually think? I don't think October is going to be the date. I think October is going to be an update, but there'll be probably like 2 updates before that. I do not see them waiting until October. It just makes no sense whatsoever. Let me know what you guys think. Keep subscribed to the channel. Subscribe if you're new. We'll talk to you in a bit.